Could you ever imagine the heart-wrenching agony of watching a championship contender, a team built on the shoulders of a burgeoning superstar, suddenly crumble before your very eyes, not through a lack of effort or talent, but by the cruel, capricious hand of fate? How quickly the landscape of an entire season, and indeed a franchise's immediate future, can be irrevocably altered by a single devastating injury. For the legions of Boston Celtics faithful, this past offseason has been less of a gentle transition and more of a brutal, disorienting roller coaster ride. A dizzying descent from the precipice of contention into the stark, unsettling reality of a forced, financially driven rebuild. It's a narrative steeped in the bitter taste of what-ifs, the cold logic of fiscal responsibility, and the quiet, determined pursuit of even the smallest victories in a dramatically reshaped competitive environment. The echoes of last season's abrupt and disheartening conclusions still reverberate through the hallowed halls of TD Garden. After a campaign that promised so much, fueled by the electrifying brilliance of Jayson Tatum, the dream of another deep playoff run was cruelly snatched away. The moment Tatum crumpled to the court, clutching his Achilles, a collective gasp rippled through the fan base, a chilling premonition of the trials to come. His subsequent tear and the team's swift, unceremonious exit at the hands of the New York Knicks in the second round marked not just the end of a season, but the painful beginning of an entirely new, unforeseen chapter for the Boston Celtics. Suddenly, the once unshakable belief in their top-tier status within the Eastern Conference evaporated, replaced by the stark, undeniable truth: the Celtics were no longer a guaranteed contender. This sudden shift in competitive standing forced President of Basketball Operations Brad Stevens to confront an unenviable dilemma. With Tatum sidelined for an extended period, the immediate championship window had slammed shut. To continue operating as if they were still on the cusp of a title would have been not only fiscally irresponsible, but strategically unsound. The NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, with its punitive second apron tax, loomed large. This financial threshold, designed to curb excessive spending by top-tier teams, would have levied astronomical penalties on the Celtics for maintaining their high-priced, star-studded roster in a year where they simply weren't in the title picture. The choice, though agonizing, became clear: embrace the painful reality of a retooling phase, even if it meant dismantling parts of a beloved core. The subsequent move sent shockwaves through the league and left many Celtics fans reeling. The departures of key veterans like Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, players who had only recently been integral to their aspirations, were particularly jarring. Holiday, a defensive maestro and clutch performer, and Porzingis, a versatile big man capable of stretching the floor, represented significant investments and strategic pieces. Their exits, coupled with the departures of reliable role players like Luke Kornet and the ever-steady veteran presence of Al Horford, transformed the Celtics roster almost beyond recognition. The familiar faces, the established chemistry, the very identity of the team that had come so close to glory, seemed to dissipate with each transaction. It was a stark, undeniable signal that the Celtics were prioritizing financial flexibility and future sustainability over the immediate and now unattainable pursuit of a championship. Yet, amidst this strategic retreat from the upper echelons of contention, a new, pragmatic objective emerged: remain competitive enough to make the playoffs, but do so with a radically revamped roster built on young, affordable talent. This wasn't about tanking, it was about intelligent, long-term asset management. The goal was to find hidden gems, players with untapped potential who could contribute immediately without breaking the bank, and who could grow with a potentially healthier, revitalized core in the years to come. It's a delicate balancing act, requiring keen scouting, shrewd negotiation, and an unwavering commitment to a vision that extends far beyond the current season. It's within this context of calculated austerity and a relentless search for value that the recent acquisition of two-way wing R.J. Luis Jr. from Utah Jazz, in a deal that sent out Georges Niang, takes on a deeper significance. On the surface, it might seem like a minor transaction, a footnote in a tumultuous offseason. Luis Jr. is hardly a household name, and his arrival isn't expected to ignite a new era of Celtics dominance. However, the story behind his acquisition reveals a fascinating glimpse into the meticulous, persistent strategy being employed by Brad Stevens and his front office. According to a report from Jake Fisher, the Celtics' pursuit of Luis Jr. didn't begin with the trade. In fact, Boston had actively pursued him much earlier in the summer, immediately after the NBA draft, when he became an undrafted free agent. This detail is crucial. It signifies that Luis Jr. wasn't a last-minute addition or a reactive move. He was a player the Celtics had identified, scouted, and targeted well in advance. Despite their initial efforts, Luis Jr. ultimately chose to sign with the Utah Jazz as an undrafted free agent, a common occurrence in the competitive landscape of the NBA. But the Celtics, undeterred by this initial setback, kept him on their radar. Their persistence paid off. At the first viable opportunity, they pounced, securing the services of the St. John's product they had hoped to bring in earlier. This seemingly small move, the trade for RJ Luis Jr., serves as a microcosm of the Celtics' broader offseason strategy. While Luis Jr. probably won't move the needle in terms of immediate game-changing impact for a team that just lost its superstar and shed significant veteran talent, his acquisition is a testament to the team's commitment to building depth with young, cost-controlled assets. In a season where the primary objective is no longer a championship, but rather financial recalibration and player development, every roster spot becomes a valuable commodity. Players like Luis Jr., with their two-way potential and low salary figures, are precisely the kind of pieces a team navigating the complexities of the second apron needs. They offer flexibility, a chance to develop into future contributors, and potential trade assets down the line. It's a quiet, unglamorous victory, but a victory nonetheless in the arduous process of rebuilding. The Celtics are playing a long game, a strategic chess match against the league's financial constraints and the unpredictable nature of player health. The pain of Jayson Tatum's injury and the subsequent dismantling of their immediate championship hopes have forced them to pivot, to adapt, and to make tough, unpopular decisions. The acquisition of RJ Luis Jr., while not a headline grabber, is a tangible example of their commitment to this new path. It underscores a front office that remains active, resourceful, and focused on the future, even as the present demands a period of adjustment and patience. This is a team in transition, shedding the weight of past aspirations to forge a new identity, one built on resilience, shrewd financial management, and the painstaking cultivation of young talent. The road ahead will be challenging, marked by the inevitable growing pains of a revamped roster, but the strategic groundwork is being laid, brick by painstaking brick, for a return to contention in the seasons to come. As the Boston Celtics embark on this new, uncertain chapter, what are your thoughts on their strategic pivot? Do you believe Brad Stevens is making the right long-term decisions, even if they mean a step back in the immediate future? Share your insights and predictions in the comments below. And if you appreciate this deep dive into the intricate world of NBA team building and the tough choices that shape a franchise's destiny, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive reports and analyses.